Three. All right, here we go back at it again. Got another great weekend of action. Today we're going to focus in on what's happening at Saratoga. It's Travers Day, so that means it's usually a great card surrounding it. So let's get down to business. We're going to start on the turf course. The Grade 2 Lake Placid Stakes, Saturday at Saratoga, 1 mile on the turf course. It's going to be race number 10 on the card there. Okay, so we've got a lot to talk about. So there's not a tremendous amount of clear-cut speed going a mile on the turf course. That makes things interesting, and it could put one or two runners there on the front end. So the only runners that I identify as pure speed would be obviously the sprinter stretching out. That's the 6, Oscar Bound. And Sean Bridgman has made a pretty great career doing just that, being really good and assertive on runners with speed. And you can see a few of those mounts that he's been aboard. He's popped out there on the front end, and they were able to get away with some pretty slow fractions back there on March the 5th at Gulfstream Park, but still effective on the front end. Sprinted last time out at Finger Lakes, got the lead, couldn't hold on to it. So we'll see what happens stretching out, because they may have a chance to get a breather, because the other horse with speed is East Jabib. And this runner also has speed, and I think, well, they can keep up with the 6 if the 6 chooses to go. But if Sean Bridgman chooses to be super aggressive and gun, he might be able to get away, get a breather, and steal the race. But I don't think that filly is good enough. So then there are other runners that are probably going to be sitting just behind. And this is interesting because you can see Ultimate Love is the 8, and Paco Lopez is going to ride. You can look and see that Johnny V had ridden that horse 3 of the last 4 outings unsuccessfully. So that's probably why Johnny jumps off and goes to non-consecutive terms. This is a runner. This filly's in great form. Even though she took her a couple of tries, or more than a couple, to break through and get her maiden-breaking victory, her score, but she was like there every single time. And so that's probably what Johnny V can see. And you get a good price on her as well. However, I don't know if she's good enough for this particular field. But I think she's going to warrant some respect, some consideration, and she'll be in the mix. I've decided that no matter what they do pace scenario-wise, I think that Queen of Hawaii is just better. And she'll be able to sit that trip and close, and she is the pick. Now, she's 3-1 on the morning line, and she's probably going to stay around there. She's probably going to be your favorite, and I think that'll be the only short price that we're going to deal with the course of this particular card at Saratoga. From there, we move on to the next race on the card. That's going to be the Grade 1 Forgo Stakes, 7 furlongs, Saturday at Saratoga. Race 11 on the card. We have 7 runners now because the 7 Banishing is out of this race. And I thought that horse might add a little bit of pace, but probably not. But we've got to start with the horse to beat, and that's Bookham Dano. Horse is in great form, loves to win races. Now, the 7 furlongs, I'm like, I know you've been able to score, but that might be an issue. We're going to find out. Bookham Dano, even money on the morning line. Paco's in the irons. Definitely going to be a horse to have to worry about. That's for sure. But you've also got a runner in here that I think is getting better. And that's Senior Officer, who's also in great form. Yes, the level of competition that Senior Officer has been facing compared to Bookham Dano is not even close, but I just like the running style. So Senior Officer, he can be up close, and I don't know if there's really any hardcore speed that can get away in this race. If someone does get away, they may have to be tricky about it. But Senior Officer can stay close and has a nice little kick at the end. And as long as the horse is within striking distance, they're going to be a force when you hit the stretch. Now, once again, in order to beat Bookham Dano, you got to be doing something for real. Or you have to try to get away from that horse. And I think that's what Tip Top Thomas is going to try to do with Flavian Pratt for Todd Pletcher. I think that they have the ability to get out there on the front end and get away from the field going 7 furlongs. That's the difference right there. And I think we'll also get value, obviously, because Bookham Dano is going to get all the play. And I also think Senior Officer will get more play, and I think we're going to float up. We'll get better. I think we might get 9-2, which is not better than 5-1, but it's around the same neighborhood. So I'm going to go with that. How'd that sound? Yeah, I like it. So that's 2 of the 4 races taking place on Saturday. Now we move on to the Grade 1 Ballerina Stakes. Saturday at Saratoga, 7 furlongs is your distance. It's on the dirt track. Good sized field of runners. It's going to be race number 12. And obviously you can put together a pick 4 with these plays if you so desire. Now this is, I think, extremely competitive. And a little, well, they're all challenging, but a little challenging in terms of, okay, what's going to happen on the front end with these runners? And as we get set to go 7 furlongs here with these fillies, you got to kind of look for the pace. The 1, Echo Sound, has some speed. 7, Ways and Means, has some speed. The 8, Maida, definitely has some speed. The 10, Our Disaster, also loves to get out there. And then the horse that'll most likely be your favorite or your second choice, Eclatante, is also a runner that wants to be forwardly placed and is very dangerous when she is allowed the opportunity to do that. There's a look at what Eclatante does. She likes to win races. She's coming off of a back-to-back graded stakes victories, and she likes to be close. Can she dictate the pace going 7? Sure, if they dilly-dally, but that's not going to happen with a couple of horses that are entered in this race. That won't happen. So she gets the opportunity to sit a really nice trip, but I don't know if it's going to be her day. So then we go to the horse that we know. All she wants to do is get out there on the front end and go, go, go. And she can carry it if you're not careful. If you don't stick to her, Our Disaster, the 10, she can carry the speed all the way around. She loves this level of competition. She's been very successful. 7 furlongs, not even a problem for her. So you're looking at a situation where, now she can't get away, right? Because there's other speed in the race. Maida is another runner that wants to be forwardly placed, has lovely fractions. Now, had an issue going 7 furlongs, but that was the Raven run at Keeneland. That could have been, anything could have happened on that particular day, because she came right back after the layoff, and she's won back-to-back outings, and here she is back in this Grade 1 event here. It's her first time against Grade 1 level competition, but I think she's got the speed to get out there on the front end. I don't know if she can carry it. Once again, we've already identified other runners that have speed too. Now we get to the morning line favorite, Ways and Means. 7 furlongs, she's cool with that too, and she's got enough speed to stay close. She's going to want to sit off the pace. She's not going to want to get into the scrum there with Maida and Our Disaster. She's not going to want that. So she's going to sit off of it just a bit because she's got the class to do just that. And she's coming off a bit of a freshening, and she runs very well fresh. So we'll see if she is good enough. But she does not represent any value whatsoever, so we don't want anything to do with her. We do like this filly. This is Kilwin, the number 2, and that's going to be our pick. She's going to stalk and then run them down. So she's coming second off of the layoff, which I like quite a bit. She won first off the layoff. Nice performance there. You know, she hasn't been at this level of competition since the test last year, and she did a great job winning that race. She'll have pace to run at. Jose Ortiz having a great year. He's well on his way to winning the Eclipse Award. I think he's going to be in a great spot, and I think that they will close, and I think we're going to get better value than you're seeing here. Right? 8-1 morning line, we'll get 10-1. Maybe even better, but that's the selection, and we are guaranteed to get value on Kilwin in the Grade 1 Ballerina. All right. From there, it's a time to go to the biggie of the bunch. Loving this. This is the Travers. 1.25 miles. Saturday at Saratoga, Grade 1 event. It's going to be race number 13. The problem here, man, there is no speed in this race. Like, it's shocking to me how little early pace there is. But let's start with your morning line favorite. If you don't love this horse, Golden Tempo, you don't love horse racing. This is a wonderful horse. Just a really, really consistent, classy, steady, strong horse. Gets stronger in the stretch. And he should be the favorite in here. However, as much as I like him, I'm not messing with him because he's coming off of a layoff. He had to miss a race because they had a little sickness. No big deal. He's a closer that needs something to run at. Now, they're probably going to say, hey, let's try to be a little bit closer to the pace because there's not much pace, but I don't know if it's not going to work out for them, in my opinion. I don't think that this horse is strong enough to close into a paceless race. So let's start thinking about, okay, well, what's going to happen? You know, there's a horse to the outside that I think is extremely intriguing in here. Silent Tactic to the outside with Luis Saez. So the with Luis Saez part is the most important part of this. This is a runner that likes to close and probably hasn't looked as good as they did when they won the Southwest, because they just came and just mowed everybody down. Now, they've still been in the mix since then, just not nearly as strong, and I don't know if the stretch out to 1.25 miles is going to help him. But I believe that Luis Saez in the irons, he'll do exactly what he did last time out in the Jim Dandy. He's going to be closer to the pace. Luis Saez, I don't think he likes being on a deep closer. I'm sure he can do it. I just don't think he likes it. So I think the fact that Silent Tactic is going to probably try to engage from that spot and stay close, that could bode well for Golden Tempo. However, if Silent Tactic does not, it's also going to make it difficult. If he doesn't challenge the speed, it's going to make it difficult for this horse as well. Renegade looked really good in the Jim Dandy. I mean, just ran right past those horses, including Silent Tactic, as if they were standing still. It was very impressive. And this has always been a good, honest, consistent horse. Look at him, always first, second, or third, first, second, or third, first, second, or third. But once again, he's going to be up against it and dealing with pretty much the same thing that the other runners are going to have to deal with. There's not going to be a tremendous amount of pace, and I don't even know if the 1.25 miles is something that he really, really, really wants. He's been in the mix, but I don't know. So with that being said, the problem is twofold. One, Napoleon Solo is the controlling speed of this race. That's one problem for the rest of the field. Two, Hall of Famer Johnny V is in the irons. That's a huge problem for everybody else. There's no way this horse gets the value of 8-1 at post time. Absolutely impossible. We'll be lucky if we get 9-2, which would be glorious. Because I know Baby Vino's in the race. I know Paco's going to ride Baby Vino, but Baby Vino is not fast enough to deal with Napoleon Solo, in my opinion. I really feel like Napoleon Solo, they tried to play a little cute game last time out, and that's why Baby Vino won. He's a tough little horse, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that John's going to find a way to get out there, get on the front end, and get away from this field like they did in the Preakness. And the 1.25 miles, not going to be the problem because he's going to be on the front end. And we're going to get value. So that's why I'm going to take the 3 Napoleon Solo to win the Travers using that speed. And I think even if someone wants to get froggy, like let's say Paco wants to be like, hey, let's go Baby Vino, we'll run these cats off their feet. I just don't think that it's going to matter. Now there's another runner in there, Leading Change, who did show some speed winning the Indiana Derby. I see it. I can see it. But I still think Napoleon Solo's better. You've got other runners in here. The Puma still has to figure out how to win races. We talked about Renegade, Ocelli, whatever. Sea Strike also showed some pace, but not quick enough to go with. You know, Baby Vino, I said, has some early foot, but I don't think he really wants to be a part of that at all. That's what happens in the Travers. It's in my opinion, because I don't think that they're going to be able to really stop John from getting out there on the front end and either controlling the tempo and slowing everything down, or letting someone else get out there and then just sitting off of them and then beating the closers to the punch. All right, that's how we do it here on Horse Race Bets. In the meantime, in between time, until next time, I'm Ken Rudolph. Hey, do me a favor. I wish you nothing but good luck in everything that you're doing, and please enjoy whatever you're into.